All right, in this video we are going to talk about how the Egyptians did math and how they represented numbers. So in the Egyptian numeration system, it's an example of what we call an additive system, meaning that they did like tallies essentially, and they drew pictures, where the value of the overall number is the sum of the numerals. So you add up what all of the numerals are worth, and that will give you the amount of the number. It dates way back to 3400 BCE. What's really interesting, though, is even though this was way before the Hindu-Arabic numbers, the Egyptians used powers of 10, which I find pretty fascinating that they knew what powers of 10 were. So they had a symbol for each one of these. And no, you don't have to memorize these, okay? Let's start here at the beginning. For a 1, they just had a staff. It was just like a line. For 10, they used this, it's like a heel bone. It kind of looks like an intersection symbol, but that's a heel bone. For 100, they used a scroll. It's like a little swirly guy. For 1,000, they used a lotus flower. For 10,000, they used, this is supposed to be a pointing finger. I don't know, but there's their pointing finger. That's 10,000. A pollywog, which is the same thing as a tadpole, like a baby frog. That's 100,000, so that's what the pollywog is. And then this astonished person who's, I guess, kneeling with their hands up, that's worth 1,000,000. Okay, so they would put these pictures together, and then when you would look at those pictures all together, like however much the symbols added up to, then that would be what the number was worth. So let's practice just finding the value of some of these Egyptian numerals. So this first one, we see the scrolls. The scrolls are worth 100. You got to count how many there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be worth 500. The heel bones are each worth 10. So there's 2 of them there. That's going to be 20. And then the staffs are each worth 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them. So you take your 500 plus your 20 and your 6, and you get a grand total of 526. So this is how the Egyptians would have listed the number 526. You can see if the number was like 999, you'd have to have 9 of each symbol. So you can see why eventually this system faded out, because it's too hard to do the tally system. You've got too many things to draw. How about this next one? We have some little polywogs. Let me move this up so we can still see our scale. We have 2 little polywogs. The polywogs are worth 100,000. So this would be 200,000. And then I have 2 scrolls. The scrolls are each 100. So that would be 200. And then you have 2. Now before you add those together, you might want to write it vertically, so you can line up your place values so that when you add it, you get all the zeros and the 2s in the right spots. So 200,000, 202. However you need to do it. But that's what that's worth. Okay, let's try another one here. How about this one? And I know I kind of covered up on my scale here, but there's no way I'm going to get it all to fit on the screen. So let's see here. The astonished man, that's worth 1,000,000. I'm just going to write 1,000,000. Then we have these 3 little polywogs. Those polywogs were each 100,000, so that's 300,000. And then we've got 4 lotus flowers. The lotus flowers are worth 1,000, so that's 4,000. And then we have this one little heel bone, which is worth 10, so 10. So we have, without me writing it all out vertically, we have 1,300,000, and then you have a 4,000, and then you have a 10. Do you see how hard it is to kind of write it while you're saying it? So again, if you need to stack it up vertically, I would stack it up vertically, but it's 1,304,010 as we add all those together. So as long as you've got the scale, you don't have to memorize the scale. As long as you've got this provided, you should be able to tell me what numbers you're looking at. What's a little bit harder is writing numbers using the Egyptian system because it requires us to draw. So you don't laugh at my drawings and I won't laugh at yours. How about that? So we're going to write this number 1,103,412 using the Egyptian system. Oh, Lord help us. All right. So for the 1 million, I've got to draw the astonished person. It's kind of like, oh my goodness, kneeling kind of like that. And then there's sort of a body here, and then some arms that are raised up, and then their head, and they have a little curly Q on top of their head. Okay, we're going to go with that. There's our astonished person. We got one of those, luckily. Then we need one polywog. So however we draw this little guy with his little tail, little arms there. So we got the polywog, so we got the million, and we got the 100,000. Now we can jump to 3,000. That's going to be 3 lotus flowers. So a lotus flower is kind of like this. We need 3 of those. Okay, so there we go. So that's the 3 lotus flowers. So astonished guy, polywog, lotus flowers. For the hundreds, we need 4 scrolls. So 1, 2, 3, 4 scrolls. Then we need 1 10. That's going to be 1 heel bone. And then we need, right at the end, 2 little staffs. Thank goodness we can end with those 2 little staffs. So that's what it should look like if you write a number using the Egyptian system.